Donna, and today I'm going to do a short video clip on how to read an infant-toddler lesson plan. Now, this is by no means a lesson plan training. If your job is to, or your responsibility, maybe as the site administrator or the lead teacher, is to write a lesson plan, a couple times a year we hold in-person trainings on how to thoroughly write a lesson plan. This video clip is just for all teachers on how to read an infant-toddler lesson plan. For the sake of this training, I am in more of a preschool classroom, but we'll be able to make it work, and I'll be able to show you still how to implement that plan. So a couple things, somewhere in your classroom, you should always have an area. We kind of call it like our assessment area. And what you're going to have is you're going to have the creative curriculum Excel sheet. This lists every child's name, and as we assess children, which I'll go into that a little bit more detail in a minute, as we assess children, children are scored, and that way the lead teacher knows exactly where children are developmentally, so that she can plan activities that are very individualized and very intentional. You always want to have posted the lesson plan for all teachers at the start of every shift. You want to come into the classroom and you want to go straight to the lesson plan. The lesson plan really tells you what you should be doing for the day. So, if I'm going to start my shift in a toddler room, one of the first things I'm going to do when I walk into the classroom is one, check attendance, how many children do I have, and then I'm going to come over and I'm going to read the lesson plan for the day, because it really tells me what materials I should have out in the classroom, and it also tells me which children should be assessed. So with this particular lesson plan, right here with infants and toddlers, the first line says indoor experiences. So this is where we're going to plan, the lead teacher is going to plan some activities in the classroom, inside activities, with the intention that we're going to assess children. So what does assess children mean? That means we're going to just take an observation. We use these little forms in our infant-toddler classrooms. Just has the child's name. It has current information, meaning what did you just see the child do? And whenever you observe a child doing one of these things, then you're going to write that down. That's an observation, or we sometimes call it an anecdotal. So to give you an example, let's just say on this particular lesson plan, it says on Thursday. It says Thursday, we're going to do animals in the barn, and it has an MM next to it. That means that it's a Mighty Minute. These are Mighty Minutes. Most infant-toddler teachers can plan their whole lesson plan just using Mighty Minutes. This comes from our curriculum, the creative curriculum. So it says on Thursday, we're going to do Mighty Minute number 28. So I'm going to find Mighty Minute number 28. I'm hitting objective number 14, and it even tells me which children I should be assessing. So it looks like I have Tiffany, I have Sam, and I have Josh. Those three children I should do this activity with, and then I will write down what the child did. So this Mighty Minute, it says we're going to use symbols and images to represent something not present. They want us to sing to the tune of Mary Had a Little Lamb, and it gives you a cute little song to sing, and the idea is to get children to repeat the animal sounds. So if the cow goes moo moo, if Tiffany says moo moo, then I would write on Tiffany's anecdotal, Tiffany was able to make the cow sound. That simple. That's what Tiffany did. Once that form's filled out, then you come over and you put it in the complete envelope. At the end of the week, the lead teacher, she'll take all those anecdotals from here, all these great observations that her and all of her assistant teachers did on children, and she'll be able to plan the rest of the activities to continue teaching children. So all completed anecdotals will go in the complete. So on Thursday, we did animals in the barn. We used this Mighty Minute, and that's where you're just going to encourage those children to come over and you're just going to sing that little song and play that activity. But while they're doing it, you're going to be writing and taking those anecdotal notes. On Friday, we did Let's Put On Your Pants, and that's a Mighty Minute also. It's Mighty Minute number 4. So as the assistant teacher, on Friday, this is what I need to do. It tells you exactly what game to play. We're actually going to be encouraging the children to take their clothes off and put their clothes back on. It says that on Friday, I'm supposed to observe Sue and Josh. So I just need 2 blank ones, I'm gonna sit on the floor. I'm gonna encourage the children to come over. We're gonna play this little game. Now, could I have Zach and Donna and other children come over and wanna play? Absolutely, they can all play this game with me. But on Friday, it says I only need to do an observation on Sue and Josh. So I will write down, yes, Josh was able to take his pants off and put them back on. Sue was not able to take her pants off. I make a simple observation, I write it down, and I put it over here in the completed file. That is my assessments for the day. Now, if you go back to the lesson plan, there's a whole nother line for outdoor experience. And so the lead teacher has also planned similar activities to do outside that you can also get great anecdotals or great observations. So on Monday, it says reach for the sun, and we're going to tiptoe. This meets objective 5, and we really want to see if Zach, Tiffany, and Sue, if they are able to stand on their tiptoes and reach for the sun. As an assistant teacher, that lets you know that when you go outside on the playground today with your toddlers, what are you going to be doing? I better be seeing you saying, boys and girls, reach for the sun. And you're going to be observing the children, and you know exactly what to be looking for. Who can stand on their tiptoes? Let's say you see Zach be able to stand on his tiptoes. Then you will want to make sure and gather a blank anecdotal. You're going to write that Zach can stand on his tiptoes, and you'll put it over here in the completed file. That's simple. Each assessment probably takes less than 2 minutes to do. So this is where you're gathering assessments. What you're doing up here, this top part of the lesson plan, is really figuring out what can your children do. Otherwise, you don't know what activities to plan throughout the day. The bottom part of your lesson plan, this is where we set up our centers. So these are all the materials that we're going to have out in the classroom. So to give you an example, it says that we're going to have chalk. We're going to have chalk and a chalkboard out for the children this week. Another thing it says on here is we are doing, we have laundry baskets out for the children to pretend to do laundry. So if you think about that, let's look around our classroom. So do I have a laundry basket out? Yes, because my lesson plan said that we're going to put laundry baskets out. My lesson plan also says that we're going to put chalk out. And so I do have some individual chalkboards as well as the large chalkboard. So the lesson plan tells me what materials I should have throughout the classroom based upon the lesson plan. So hopefully that was helpful, and now you understand a little bit more about how to use your lesson plan, how to read the lesson plan, and why it's so important to make sure those materials are out in the classroom. All right, so now that you understand why each one of these centers, the lead teacher, when she put the lesson plan together, she intentionally planned on certain materials being out in the classroom based off all of these great anecdotals that everybody's been gathering. So what the lead teacher will do is weekly, she will go in and she will pull some of these completed anecdotals that everyone did all week. And she'll go through these and she'll pick one for every child. In the anecdotal, you might have seen a week earlier that a child could do a certain activity or a certain skill, and the lead teacher then, she adds a plan to it. So this is where we individualize. So in every infant and toddler room, not only do you have your group lesson plan, but you also have an individual plan for every single child. So the lead teacher will take an anecdotal that was done on every single child in the room, and then at the bottom she will write a plan. So for this particular child, let's see, for example, we have this child back in February. Zoe used her fingers to eat her lunch. That was a simple observation that was made. The lead teacher this week has said, we're going to introduce a spoon to Zoe. So that you as a teacher in that classroom, you know that all week during meal times, how important it is that you make sure Zoe has a spoon. You're going to model with her how to use a spoon because we're trying to get her to go from finger foods to using a spoon. So every single infant or toddler should have an individual plan posted next to the lesson plan. So as an infant toddler teacher, you want to read, what is my goal for each child this week? And they each have a different goal. Sometimes, depending on what the child is, what their goal is, that material may be out in the classroom somewhere. So for example, we have a little boy named Jack. This child crawled up to a teacher and he was scared by a loud noise. That's what the teacher observed. So what did the lead teacher decide to do? The following week, she decided to bring out a drum and put it in the classroom. And the idea is, yes, the drum creates some noise, but it's trying to help Jack get over loud noises and understanding that they're not always dangerous. But because it says bring a drum out, what does that tell you? Well, that means that we better have a drum out and available. So the lesson plan lets you know what toys, what materials, what activities need to be out all week. And it also lets you know which children you're really going to pay attention to when they're around that equipment. So when that particular child, when Jack comes over, I'm going to really encourage Jack to play with that drum because I know it's our goal with him this week. So hopefully that helps better explain how to read an infant toddler lesson plan and how important it is. It will also make your days easier because it tells you exactly what to do and what to be looking for. Thanks.